What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we're going to be working on the K-Swap DA. So in this video, we're going to be completing the cooling system for this car. So this setup is a K24 motor, which has the radiator hoses pointing in an angle. On the K20 motor, the radiator hose will point this way. Also, I'm not going to be running heater, so I will have to block that off with a cap. Another thing you could do is get an aftermarket water housing. K-Tune makes a nice one, which makes this housing sit more flush towards the head, so that if you would have run a turbo, you'll have a lot of clearance. Also, it comes with like a filler neck, and also it comes with a pipe for the heater hoses, or you can block it off, and it looks a lot cleaner. But for my setup, this is going to be a radiator setup. I'm gonna just use the factory housing. So I'm gonna have to block that port off, and I'm gonna have to block that nipple off right there as well. And also for the radiator setup, we're gonna have to change the thermostat out because the K24 thermostat housing, it faces up. So I have a fix for that. You can either get an aftermarket thermostat housing that swivels, or you could get a K20 thermostat, which is out of RSX, and that hose will actually, the radiator hose will face towards the bottom. So like I said, there's plenty of ways you can do this radiator setup, but I'm choosing to go with a budget style. I believe you could use an EP3/RSX radiator, a full-size radiator if you wanted to. You could use a Volkswagen Sirocco Rabbit radiator, and it would be more tucked in, or you could get like a tuck style radiator. I heard S13 radiators, they made it work somehow. They also have K-Swap radiators from Hybrid Racing, and K-Tune makes it where the radiator sits on this side. So like I said, there's plenty of ways to do this cooling system, but I am going with a budget style for now. So what I'm going to be running is a EG radiator. This is a 2-inch aluminum core I got off of eBay. It has a 12-inch fan, slim fan with a fan shroud. This is the RSX thermostat that we're going to be running. And this is a thermostat block off, since we're not going to be running heater. There's the part number. And also I got some K-Swap radiator hoses. Got these off eBay. And then one more thing, I have radiator brackets for my traction bar. So if you have a traction bar, this would make it a lot easier to mount a radiator, because you can move the radiator any way you want. So this is just a budget radiator setup. Probably spent like around $200 or something. So since the intake is off, this is gonna make it a breeze. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the thermostat, and then do the plug and set up the mounting points on the traction bar, slide the radiator in, take it back out, make sure everything's mounting good, test fit the radiator hoses. All right, y'all, so you guys will have to shave it down. I'm not sure if it's because this is an aftermarket thermostat, but I had to shave a little bit down to make it clear, the housing. Thermostat did not fit. Alright y'all, radiators mocked up. I just put the top hose on. It does have a little kink right here and right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the hose a little bit. I'll start off with one side first, see if that's enough. And then if it's not, then I'm gonna shorten this side as well. It's just a little bit too long in the middle. I end up cutting a good amount of hose on each side. So this is how the upper radiator hose look now. I did get rid of a little bit of the kink right here, so I'm fine with that. I do have a small little kink right here, but it still has good flow. It's not really, it still has plenty of flow, so this should work well. So I think I have two options. Unfortunately, the RSX thermostat did not work with this K24 housing. It's a little bit offset, I think. If anybody knows, let me know down in the comments below. But either I could go find a hose to make this work, which is pretty much just a S shape, but I need it to be a little bit longer in the middle so we could extend it. Or I could just get the adjustable thermostat housing, and there should be plenty of hose once this is pointed down. As you can see, we're not too far off. But as far as the radiator goes, it fits pretty nice in here. I still need to make a radiator, get a radiator stay for this. I mean, it's not really moving, but need one anyway. I think the hood should close. If not, I could always adjust the mounting tabs on the bottom to make the radiator sit down a little bit lower. I think we should be fine. I might need to lower the radiator just a tad bit. But, we can make this work. Also, I got the return line to the reservoir plumbed up. I need to shorten this a little bit. I'll do that later. The only other thing that might be an issue is the clutch line. This is the clutch line is sitting on the fan. It's not too bad, but if it was a zip tied out the way, we should have some clearance. That, or I can shave the fan down a little bit. So yeah, guys, yeah, if there's a clearance issue with the cap, I could lower it down just a tad bit by loosening the mounts on the traction bar. Move it down just a little bit. I think we should be okay. Alright y'all, so here's the difference with the K24 and the K20 thermostat. This is the K24 one. You see how it's basically a triangle, straight triangle. And then this is the K20 one, which has a little offset to it. So that's why I couldn't get the thermostat to fit on it. So change the housing and the thermostat. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap over the fitting, the block off fitting onto the new thermostat housing. Alright you guys, so we ran into a little problem. This would probably work better if it wasn't on a DA chassis. But the hose is too short. Just a tad bit too short. Damn it. Even if I pull it off halfway, still too short. I don't want to move the radiator because I have it set perfect. I did end up lowering the radiator down a little bit more, and I flipped the hose. I flipped the upper radiator hose because it was too close to the TPS sensor. Well, I don't have one on it, but it was like literally where my finger was. So I flipped the hose. Now this is good. I got the radiator sitting down where it needs to be. Now I need to go buy find a lower radiator hose that'll fit. Yeah, me. Thought I was done. I found the perfect size radiator hose. I went to AutoZone and matched up the hose. So here's the part number for the hose. C71765 62120. I think that's the second part number. This radiator hose fits perfect. Doesn't have any kinks or anything. Alright y'all, so the cooling system is complete now. Got the lower radiator hose, upper radiator hose, half size radiator. Got it blocked off. So I went with a Skunk2 Pro Series intake and switched out from the RBC. The reason why I did that is because the Skunk2 intake is a little bit smaller, I believe, and it tucks down a little bit more for the hood clearance. So that's why I upgraded it. Also, it's port matched to my K-Tune throttle body, which is a 72 millimeter. So that worked out great. Here's the clearance with the radiator and the intake. Hopefully the hood, I don't have to shave too much off the hood. So I still need to wire up the fan. I'm gonna do that at a later date. Also, since I adjusted the radiator, I do have a little bit more clearance with the clutch line. It's not touching anymore. If I was to move it out the way, that should give it plenty of clearance. If not, I could always take this radiator fan shroud off, which I don't want to do, and then mount the fan to the radiator instead, because this is about, where is it? So, because this is about a good inch and a quarter maybe. So that would suck the fan in if I was to take this radiator fan shroud off. I think we should be fine. Alright y'all, I forgot to mention one more thing. You will have to trim your radiator support right here. Mine already came trimmed all the way from that side to this side. If you're running a half size radiator, then I guess you just trim the half size portion. But I guess for a cleaner look, just go ahead and cut the whole thing, the lower radiator support. So this is pretty much going to be the end of the video. We got the budget radiator set up, installed in the K-swap. I hope this helped you guys out if you guys are trying to K-swap your DA. Stay tuned for more content. I got more parts on the way. Hit that like button if you made it this far, or hit that like button period, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.